Hello, my name is Anna, and welcome to my knitting podcast, Anna Hiraeth. It is a lifestyle podcast focused on creating community and through intentional making. This is my second episode, and I just wanted to try this again. A few of you watched my first episode, and I got some feedback, which was fun. A few things that I wanted to do differently this time is get rid of some of the background noise. We have a pool pump, which I have turned off this time, so you won't hear that in the background. And that is actually wonderful because then you can hear the bird song behind me instead. So yes, I hope you all are doing well during this time of quarantine, during the COVID-19 pandemic that the entire world is experiencing, and I hope you are finding time to make things and be with your family, cook good food, and just help your community through whatever way possible. One of the reasons I started this podcast was in order to reach out to the community, to the making, knitting, sewing, crocheting, making community. I have been so impacted by other podcasters, other Instagrammers, who I've actually become friends with, and I would really love to have that same experience with this podcast. So yeah, those are my goals. I hope that you're able to find my little channel in the middle of the internet, and I hope you'll enjoy watching. So I thought I would start each podcast with like a theme. And I haven't given a whole lot of thought to what the theme would be, but this week, the theme that I'm really the thing that keeps popping up for me is acceptance. And that sounds super cliche, totally is, that's okay. And that is because, you know, during this time, one thing that is a great source of comfort to me is eating. And it's something that we do have control of. Well, not all of us, but in my case, what I eat is a way that I can control what I'm doing, what I'm experiencing. For those of us who don't have that luxury, I hope you're able to find something like making or singing or watching TV or just playing games or anything. For me right now, my comfort is eating and drinking. Coffee, alcohol, tea, milkshakes, everything. And so because of that, I've definitely gained a little extra poundage, but to be honest, it's something that's really helping me cope with this time, and so I'm okay with the fact that that's happening. And I hope if that's happening to you, you're okay with it also. We have been able to get outside quite a lot. Phoenix as a city is actually quite well set up to tackle the coronavirus because we generally aren't that close together. Phoenix is a very spread out city, and everybody has cinder block walls around their houses. And as you can see behind me, this is what it is, you know? And so I think that's one of the reasons why Phoenix has done so well during this quarantine time. And it's very easy to go out and go for walks and not see anybody, or you can at least cross the street and keep your distance. But so I've been getting lots of exercise. The weather, as you can see, is sunny, beautiful, breezy. It's about 78 today, and it's going to be a little cloudy and rainy tomorrow, which I can't wait. And so yes, we are very fortunate here in the Southwest to be experiencing such a beautiful springtime. So I think I'll just get started with some projects. Last time I showed you the beginning of my Jessie May top. It's called My Secret Little Crop, and she released it as a free pattern, and she kind of just let everyone test knit it for her. As far as I know, there was only one small issue, and it was a great little pattern, super easy to knit. It takes a little time because it's fingering weight, but super quick and very cute. So here it is. I love the colors. She advised people to not really think too hard about what you would knit with, just to dive into your stash and pick some stuff. So I did that, And yeah, I do really love this part down here. I love how it's kind of neutral, and then it has this neon pop. And if you watched my last podcast, you'll know that this is the hot dog yarn that I keep referring to. It's apparently a major part of my knitting life. But really, it's called Neon Peach by Madeline Tosh. It's a fabulous colorway, and I hope they still make it, because it looks like I'm probably gonna need to buy another skein. I'm almost out. The only thing with this project that I'm not happy with is my gauge. Based on my measurements, I thought a size medium would be best, but this 3x3 rib is, as you can see, incredibly stretchy, which rib, you know, hello, supposed to be stretchy. It's a little too big. So I was thinking I might give it to someone who, oh, it's so cute, who is maybe a little bigger than me, and knit myself another one in a smaller size. So I just want to share the love, and it's very cute, but it's almost a little, it kind of bunches up like this because it's so loose. And I just think I've seen a couple of fits online. If you follow the hashtag secret little crop, it'll pop up. You'll see all the different ones, and they definitely are quite fitted, which I think I would prefer. So anyway, love this pattern. One new technique that I learned from this is these straps. They're almost like an I-cord, but it's used, it's double knitting. So you knit one and slip one with the yarn in the front, I believe, and then the ones that you slipped on the back side, you knit and you slip the front stitches. So it just makes this just lovely wide strap. I really like it. I've never done double knitting before, but I mean, it just looks fabulous. So I hopefully can get a few photos of myself with the top on. I haven't done that yet. I don't know why. And then I'll decide if I keep it or if I want to give this to someone who I love and knit myself another one. So after I finished this, a knit along came up through Blue Sky Fibers. Actually, I think I saw it on Fancy Tiger's Instagram feed. One of the owners, let's see, one of the owners is hosting, I don't know if she's hosting the knit along or she's just participating, but there's Amber and Jamie, and it's Jamie that's doing the knit along, and it's called the Seven Sisters Top, and it's a knit along meant to use Blue Sky Fibers painted, I think it's called painted cotton. It's really beautiful. It's a worsted weight, maybe it's DK weight, I'm not sure, yarn, and it's a lovely pattern. It looks so cute. So I had some yarn sitting around that is a little bit different. It's a heavier weight yarn. It's an Aran weight, but it's a cotton, and it was left over from a project. Actually, I frogged this project. I mentioned in my last podcast that I cannot bear to waste yarn. If I don't 100% love the project, I frog it. I unravel the whole thing and save it again. So my yarn is always very kinky because there's just no point in making a project that you don't like. So I had made I think it was called, I don't remember what the top was called, but it was just very bulky and it was seamed. So it had just these giant seams like at the top and on the sides, and I'm already fairly broad-shouldered, so I don't want any more bulk in this area. So I got rid of it and rewound it, and I'm making the top. It's a little saggy because I just divided the back from the front to make the top and the sleeves. It's knit bottom up, and so here I've got my 5 inches of 2x2 ribbing and then stockinette. I did shorten mine just a little bit because I think the final garment measurement is like 23 inches, and I'm fairly short. I'm 5'2", so I thought that would be just a bit long for me. So I think it should sit about here, my natural waist is here. So I thought this would be just really cute for a little, like over a skirt or whatever. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. It knits up really quick. I knit most of this in a couple of days, and then I kind of put it down for a couple of days, but I'm really hoping that I'll be able to finish this in a week with this Aran weight yarn. The only other modification I'm making other than shortening the length is I'm making the sleeve holes a little deeper, because as I said, I do have a wider chest area, and sometimes it kind of cuts into my arms, which I don't like. So I'm going to make this deeper and a little wider, which I've already done. And yeah, hopefully it will be done and I can show you what it looks like next time. Let's see, so today is Friday. Today is the 10th of April. It's my cousin's birthday, Sarah Kim. I an Instagrammer, Park and Knit, came up with a new hashtag called Flash Your Knits Friday. And so I put up a photo of myself on Instagram wearing this knit. So I thought I would share it with you. This thing's a monster. It's the Marled Magic Sweater by Stephen West. He also has a shawl you can do, and you can either make a sweater or a dress if you have the stamina for that kind of thing. This is already like insane, but here it is. Here's sleeves, cute little cuff, and the back. It's got brioche, seat stitch, it's got this awesome kind of chainette thing, or mesh. Yeah, brioche. It's just so fabulous. I had the opportunity of seeing Stephen West teach a class about color in Denver at Fancy Tiger Crafts. And at the time, I was a fairly new knitter. I think I'd been knitting about 3 or 4 years. And I knit mostly neutrals, like, you know, this kind of stuff. Blacks, whites, grays, creams, which I still love very much. But I was so struck by his use of color and how playful it was and how much fun it was. And no color combination is ugly, really. I mean, if you love the colors, it will be beautiful. And he really encouraged me to step outside my comfort zone and give it a try. So it's actually Stephen West, that really encouraged me to try some color. And so for this sweater, I did buy this yarn. This is the Hot Dog yarn, Neon Peach, this pink one. It's just so pretty. I don't know if you can see, it's got pink and orange in there. It's just fabulous. But I bought that, and this, it's called Hey Lady Hey. I don't remember the name of it, but it's this white speckled yarn. And it has blues, yellows, reds, pinks, so you could match all kinds of things in this sweater. So I only bought those 2 skeins, and I might have bought 2 skeins of this one. And then you hold the yarn double so that you can get all these effects. So one of the things that I learned from knitting this project was I was basically trying to make ombre shades all the time. So I would start with like dark to light in the same color family. So you can see I've got light blue, gray, dark blue into yellow and greens. And while that's beautiful, I find it took me until the very end, almost the very last section, to get this section, which is actually my most favorite. It starts with the blue and goes this way all the way to the green, and I just love how it came out. And it took me the entire time to let go of that control and to just play and see what came out. Sometimes it's hard to tell how it comes out, so I'm pretty sure I did a couple of things that I didn't like, and I ripped it out and started with different colors, but in the end, this was it. And man, that's the best section. God, it's so cool. So yeah, the thing with this sweater is you'll never be bored. Each section, it's knit in sections. Each one of these is a section, and you don't have to seam anything. You just pick up stitches. So I'm pretty sure this one right here is the first section. And then I think you go, I don't know which order you go, but you are never bored. It's so fun. It goes so fast. You can't wait to see what the colors do next. So I can, highly recommend this shawl. It's also, it's definitely more of a sitting inside on your couch kind of thing. It's very big. It's just a little heavy. It's very drapey, very swingy, which makes it a little hard if you're doing anything like cooking, or you wouldn't clean in this. That's crazy. This is a sitting down and reading a book or knitting or watching a movie shawl. Or if you're going out, I would wear it with heels and a pair of skinny jeans and like some big earrings and red lipstick, because it's a statement, y'all. You are gonna get noticed wearing something like this. So yeah, it's just fabulous. I recommend it. So it's called Marled Magic Sweater by Stephen West. Okay, let's see. Another project that I've been working on, as have so many people, it's so wonderful to see what people are doing, is making face masks. I made these just for my family. I made about just under 2 dozen so that we'd all have a couple. And you only wear them one time and then wash them. But this is off of Fancy Tiger's website. It's a very simple pattern. And it's double-sided with tightly woven quilting cotton. And it fits really well. Goes right up in there and right under your neck. And of course, as we know, this is not to protect us from illness. This is to protect others in case we are asymptomatic. We're not sneezing, coughing, projecting droplets, and infecting people without knowing. So when we go out in public, we're wearing these cute little face masks. And yeah, I made my own bias tape because I was just afraid that the elastic would just like hurt your ears. So I thought this was kind of nicer. But anyway, I've been having lots of fun with those, and I hope you'll consider making some too. You can go onto Fancy Tiger's website, but honestly, like, I'm sure if you're a maker, you've already seen a million cute patterns. Mimi G, she's a really cool sewing designer. She's got a really pretty kind of like cup-shaped one that goes over your nose. I'm pretty sure that's a free pattern too. So all kinds of free patterns that you can make. So I was also thinking it would be fun to talk about a few other things aside from making. One thing I was thinking about is perhaps sharing what I'm reading. I don't read as much as I used to, but one thing I don't do a lot of is I don't read a lot of fiction. If you love to read fiction and you want to recommend some books, send them my way. I'm always happy to like check things out. I'm a little bit particular about what I read. My favorite fiction is Haruki Murakami. He's a Japanese fiction writer. It's super weird, but if you're into Japanese literature has a very, they're very much into alternate universes parallel to ours, and which you see the themes of that running through a lot of Japanese film, including anime. So I love it. It's fabulous, and he's a fabulous writer. So I don't read a whole lot of these books. So let me see, oh, here we go. So I chose 2 books to talk about today. Neither of these are especially new. The first one I wanted to talk about is this one. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass. It's an incredible book. It'd be great to read right now. If you need beauty and light and love and happy tears in your life, then you should read this book right now. One great thing is that so many libraries are lending digital copies, so I'm sure you could find this. Another great option is there's a beautiful audio recording read by the author of the book, which is what I listen to. It's incredibly moving. Robin Wall Kimmerer is what would you say? A traditional Western trained botanist, but she's also an indigenous person and has a lot of indigenous ancestral knowledge about nature. And she really talks about how these two can meet. yeah, it's really about how we interact with nature and how it interacts with us and how we need each other. I mean, yeah, sounds right, doesn't it? But she was also a poet, and the way in which she uses her words is truly moving and just gives you a newfound appreciation for the simplest of things around you, no matter where you live, and how little or how much nature is around you. So I highly recommend this book. It's very comforting, very affirming, very sweet, and very beautiful. On a weirder note, another book that I'm reading, this is actually a relatively new publish, is called Laughing Shall I Die by Tom Shippey. Some of you nerds may know that Tom Shippey wrote a biography on Tolkien, which was excellent, and he is, I'm pretty sure, some kind of Norse or Anglo-Saxon scholar. So he is writing basically about how we, especially as academics and as Westerners, have kind of glamorized and glorified the Vikings, saying, oh no, they weren't that bad, and they were really more like tradesmen and merchants, which is completely not true. The Scandinavians certainly were, yes, but Vikings in particular were really just bloodthirsty, conquering, what would you call them? Barbarians? And this book really talks about why the Vikings were so successful in their raids and how they were able to get so far into Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, and the force that really pushed them through to those places and what made them such a formidable enemy. It's funny. Tom Shippey is an excellent writer. He has that very subtle and I think quite humorous way of writing. It's very accessible. It's not especially academic. It's written for the layperson, and I have been enjoying it very much. So I hope you'll take a look, see if you like it. It's a fun read if you're interested in Norse mythology, any of the sagas, or Northern European history. Well, I think that's about all that I have for this week. I wanted to keep the podcast shorter. I think last week it was over half an hour, and I definitely want it to be a little shorter, like 20 to 25 minutes rather than 30 to 35 to 40. So I think I'll make that it for this week. I hope if you enjoy this podcast, please consider subscribing to this channel, and let me know what you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed it, tell me about you. Tell me what projects you're making. If you're going to start a podcast, or just start one, start a podcast. Let's make some podcasts and share information and share ideas with each other. Tell me all about where you live, and let's start a conversation. So let's continue to make all the things, and I'll see you next time. Bye.